My name is Jeremiah Hasley. I'm a tight end from Gibsonia, Pennsylvania, and I'm a redshirt senior.
4th and goal, and now a decision to make in the first overtime, tied at 20. Hasley out to the right. On 4th and goal in the first overtime. Rolls to the right, wants to throw, waits, looking, back over the middle, he's got it! It's Hasley for the touchdown!
Being in Western Pennsylvania, the football is one of the best in the country, and I started getting into football around 6, 7 years old. I was lucky to have my father as one of my coaches, so it was a very awesome experience. I always played linebacker. That was kind of the position I always played. I played a tight end a little bit, like in my youth football days, not a lot. I usually played running back. As I transitioned to middle school and high school, tight end was actually the first spot I really started playing a lot. It didn't take me long to, feel the comfort from the position and ran with it from there. Started off with the Ivy Leagues, and I didn't really have any Power 4 offers before Duke, which was in the summer of 2021. Was able to go on campus, see all the things that Duke has to offer, and that day I was able to get an offer. A few days later, I ended up committing to Duke University. Obviously, it was one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Let's go back and take a look at one of the linebackers in this class, and Jeremiah Hasley, a Pennsylvania native, 6'3", 220-pounder, one of 2 linebackers in this class for the Blue Devils.
And here's some of the great instincts that we're talking about. Reads the screen quickly, offensive lineman out in front, gets around the blockers, and a huge hit to let the ball carrier know that he's out there headhunting at all times.
Freshman year, I was able to play in 5 games. I felt really confident going into the offseason. We still had a hole at linebacker. Spring ball did really well, and going into fall camp, I had a good feeling that I could potentially be the starter at linebacker. It was a great competition. Didn't look like it was going to go my way. Coach Elko wants to talk to you, and then we were talking about what's going on at linebacker. He's like, you're not going to win the position, but we really do want you on the field. He kind of threw out the question do you know what position is kind of lacking right now? And I was like, oh, tight end. And he goes, yeah. Asked me the question, do you want to do it? Throughout the answer, whatever's best for the team. He's like, no, I really want you to know, do you want to do this? And I was like, yeah, I want to do it. I want to play football. Getting up to speed as quickly as possible so I can get on the field was the biggest challenge, but I felt like I adapted pretty well. I was lucky enough to be behind Nicky Dalmone, who's a fantastic Brandon player, and unfortunately he had an injury halfway through the season, and I was like, holy crap, now I'm the starting tight end.
We welcome you to Saturday night in Durham, the Bull City tonight. Brooksfield at Wallace Wade Stadium, ACC Network primetime, and tonight we get the Duke Blue Devils. 2 weeks after the loss to Notre Dame, and they get the NC State Wolfpack.
It was my first start, a lot of nerves, but I felt like I was ready to play.
Shotgun snap, wants to throw, end zone, Hasley! Touchdown! How about that? The redshirt freshman quarterback finds the redshirt freshman tight end, and they find pay dirt.
They're both stepping up when their numbers are called.
I was like, okay, what do I do now? Do I celebrate? I just didn't know what to do. I just went to the fans, kind of gave a fist pump, then went back to the guys, and you could just see the joy that came from them, knowing what I've been through that season. It was just a special moment. Everyone, whenever I got to the sideline, hit my head, congrats, this is awesome.
Yeah, when I got here to Duke and got a chance to sit down and meet with Jerry the first time, his eagerness to kind of jump in and buy into everything that this new staff was trying to install. Football standpoint, from a culture standpoint, those type things, he was just 100% bought into everything.
We did feel that Jerry was a dependable guy, and we wanted to put him in dependable situations and felt that he'd be a really good player for us.
Start off in 2024, there was the Elon game. I was able to get a touchdown in that game, and I felt like in that moment was kind of my starting point. Obviously, the season before was my first real season at tight end. Still had a lot to prove. In that first moment, in that Elon game, I was like, okay, this is where we're going to hit the ground running for the season.
Reynoldson to punt, Henning back deep to return it. Reynoldson gets it off. Nice spiral again. Henning calls for the fair catch and makes it at the 10. So Northwestern again will be deep in their own territory, and now there's an injured Blue Devil. That is a scary moment right now. Might be Jeremiah Hasley.
I can still hear it to this day. It felt like 2 gunshots going off in my head. I knew what really happened. I knew there was a significant injury.
Switched over to play tight end and has had so much success. It looked like he was due for a breakout season. He was just out there protecting, got run over and went down. You don't want to speculate, but those are the scary ones, Smitty.
Go on the cart, drive away. You never want to be that guy. Obviously, it was one of the hardest moments of my life.
I remember coming in after the Northwestern game and everyone was giving him a hug, multiple times going up to his room, and he couldn't get himself a glass of water, without being in a lot of pain.
I've loved this sport basically my whole life since I was 7 years old. And to now give it up for a year, that stuff's gonna get hard mentally, physically.
He's a guy that doesn't like people helping him out too much, but he embraced it.
I felt like I was up for the challenge. Rehab process, I was very fortunate to have a great group of trainers and PTs be there the whole time, giving me the confidence to do whatever I can do to get back on the field. It was amazing. I was also accompanied by other teammates of mine, Zach Franks, Nicky Dalmolin, who also suffered an injury that year. We helped push each other past the difficult moments. You have to cherish this moment each and every day. I will always remember that injury, and how I pushed past that was cherishing these moments.
The way that he did it was very inspirational. To watch him become more and more of a weapon, and by the end of the year becoming one of the premier tight ends in the country. It's the arc you would love to see anytime someone's had a major setback.
The 2025 season came, finally 100% healthy. I felt like I still had a lot to prove. Pushed every single day knowing that nothing is given. I did really well from in the core position, blocking, being able to pass pro.
Jerry hardly came off the field a year ago, and there'd be games where he'd play, damn near every snap in the game. So his toughness, I think, had the respect of everybody on the team, and then his playmaking went to a different level in the second half of the season.
I believe the Clemson game was kind of where it picked up.
He had certainly made plays by this point, but there were two huge possession down plays. The one that was massive was we're backed up. Plays is going crazy in the fourth quarter.
But now with 4:50 to go, it's third down. They need 7 out to the 16-yard line. Down by a touchdown, and this Clemson crowd on their feet as loud as they've been all day.
Safety stays split, and his job is to not cross now, is to run right down the middle of the field.
Down the middle, wide open, it's Hasley. Across the 40, still on his feet.
He makes an instinctive play that we had talked about during the game, and he piped it down the middle of the field. Then his athleticism takes over.
Big fella making a big play in a big moment.
Fourth down, we're able to find him again, on a little flat route, is able to pick up the first down.
Here's the snap, rolls to the right, wide open, it's caught, and it's a first down with Hasley inside the 20 to the 18-yard line.
He does a lot of things instinctively, but has the intelligence where he can watch film on the sideline during the game, look at it from a coach standpoint, see what he needs to do, and then just the leadership skills to also coach the other tight ends and the younger tight ends.
Those are big-time plays and big-time moments and a big-time atmosphere. From that point, it wasn't just, okay, this is a guy that's really turning into a dependable player. This is a guy that makes big-time plays and big-time moments, and we continue to utilize him in that way after that.
Over the middle, there's 85. Hasley into the end zone. Touchdown. End zone, Hasley's got it. What an exclamation point for Jeremiah Hasley. Down the sideline, he dives. He's in. Touchdown.
When you look back on last year's season, 85 is going to stand out a bunch. You're going to see plays that he made to help us win games. The average fan is going to say, what play stood out the most? And the number one is going to come, and you're going to say, the touchdown in the ACC Championship in overtime.
They had first and goal at the 1. Now it's 4th and goal just outside the 1. Castle stays in the block. End zone touchdown! Jeremiah Hasley!
I was just looking around me. There was no defenders, and I kind of just put my hands up hey, I'm right here. And then obviously the rest was history.
Taylor threw it back to Morris. It is intercepted! Intercepted by Luke Margot! And Duke has won the ACC!
There's just a lot of love, a lot of compassion. This team deserved to win out like this. For me, it was this senior class that I came here in 2022 as a freshman with. To see that class grow from what this program used to be, a great experience to feel that moment with a bunch of guys. You just can't get that feeling back ever.
He's an example of doing hard things. That's what Jerry's done. Switching positions, that's a hard thing. Having new coaching staffs look at you in different ways, that's a hard thing. Coming back from a significant injury, that's a hard thing. And just through sheer work, guys turn himself into an elite football player, and so he's a great story for any young player to look up to.
Jerry's first class. I get on planes and fly all across the country to look for student athletes that are his size, run like him, catch like him, block like him, physical like him, but more importantly, a man like him. He's always looking to help others. By doing that, he realizes that that's making us a better place.
Tight end from Gibsonia, Pennsylvania, number 85, Jeremiah Hasley.